Hi, everyone, and welcome to my interview with the winner of Australian Survivor Australia versus the World, Parvati. We had such an incredible discussion. We talked about so many things, including how she knew she was going to win even before the season started filming, and much, much more. If you can please like this video, subscribe, maybe even leave a comment letting us know your favorite Parvati moment this season. I hope that you enjoyed Australia versus the World as much as I did. And I hope that you enjoy my interview with Parvati, the winner of Australian Survivor, Australia versus the World. Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor.
I almost called it.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something new. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Parvati, congratulations on winning Australian Survivor, Australia versus the World. It's kind of incredible. How does it feel to say you're a two-time winner?
This is something that I have been wanting to say for like 15 years. So I'm really excited. I'm in a very elite club.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Definitely good company that you are with. I have to admit, before I go any further, I just have to thank the person who kind of got me into Survivor because my college roommate and good friend, Emily, had seen Survivor before, but she said, I need to show you Parvati's seasons. You're going to fall in love. And that's exactly what happened. We did the whole trilogy right before Winners at War. So it's kind of a full circle moment. And it's, like you said, a full circle moment for you as well. I'm wondering if stepping back into Samoa, did that affect your gameplay at all?
Yes, in every way. When I got off the plane in New Zealand to connect to my flight to Samoa, there was a huge rainbow from floor to ceiling out the window of that airport. It's like massively tall windows. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna win this game. This is like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I was like really locked into that symbolism. And I was like, Samoa, this is the place that I really have unfinished business with Survivor that I never thought I would have an opportunity to play again there. Because the US seasons are they're all in Fiji.
Mhm.
And I didn't think, why am I going to play in another country? It was just the thought didn't even occur to me. So yeah, it was like it just felt magical to be back in Samoa.
It's so funny to hear you say that because if I remember correctly, listening to one of your interviews, it sounds like something similar and mystic happened when you played Micronesia. Did you also have some sort of a thought going into that you were going to take that crown too?
Yes, I had a psychic tell me I was going to win.
Yeah, right?
That's what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Yes, before when I came back from Cook Islands, I went to a psychic with a friend of mine, and the psychic, this was before the cast had even been announced. The press hadn't, nobody knew that we'd played Survivor. The cast wasn't out there. And the psychic was like, oh, you just got back from doing this big competition. You're going to go again and you're going to be victorious. And I was like, lady, you crazy. But then, like 6 months later, the casting director called me to go play Micronesia. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to win. Yes, I had that same feeling. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's incredible and all the proof you need that there are outside forces here, right, that are guiding us along. And I loved reading all about sort of your spiritual journey as well in your book, Nice Girls Don't Win. And something else that I really identified with and found interesting was how you built up those survival instincts all your life, but then learned how not to let them run your life entirely. So I was wondering, was it intimidating to get back into that survivalist mindset?
I was very worried about it before I played Traders
Hmm.
because I was in the middle of writing my book at the time and I hadn't really tested myself of being able to go back into these arenas of scarcity, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, nervous system
Hmm.
for such a long time at such an intense level and then come home and be okay. In the past, when I played Survivor, I would be in those modes of being, and then I would come home and I was not okay. And I needed a lot of support to recover. I didn't know how. So this time when I played Traders, I was worried about it. But then when I came home from Traders, it only took me a couple of weeks to get back to center. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Because with the book, I really want to offer people the like invitation to look at survival modes and that way of operating as something that's normal and necessary and helpful
Mhm.
at times. So it's not something to judge yourself for, but then when you start to cultivate a strength in your nervous system, you can live a life that's happier, more joyful, more abundant, more fulfilling, and your success and achievements can come from a place of abundance rather than a place of I don't have any money, so let me go out and get a job. It's like, oh, I have enough and I want to create something beautiful with the skills that I have. So I wanted to test myself. I wanted to test this theory that I could go back into survival mode and then come back out, and I have the nervous system flexibility to do that and make it work for me. And it was fine. I was fine when I came home. I was actually just right back into like being a single mom and like taking care of life.
I'm really, really happy to hear that, especially after reading your book. And now you mentioned using the skills that you have to sort of build something beautiful. You spoiled the reality TV fans with your presence on not one, not two, but like three mainstream reality competition shows all within the last couple of years. So I'm just wondering, I'm not sure about the filming order of everything, but it seemed like you played everything, The Traders, Deal or No Deal Island, Australian Survivor, pretty much back to back. And I'm wondering if staying in that sort of helped you out here as well.
I think so. Traders was my first foray back into reality TV competition since Winners at War. So it had been like 5 years and a divorce in between. My divorce actually really helped me with Traders because I was on my own and really just hearing my own voice again for the first time. It was really helpful for me to like go play that game from my own energy.
Mhm.
And then a year later was when I played Deal or No Deal and Survivor. So when I played Deal, I was in a really healthy relationship. I was really happy. I was like writing my book, almost complete with it, and I had come out of the divorce and I was like really centered in myself and very solid and strong. Then when I came back from Deal, I had 3 weeks to prep for Australian Survivor. So I looked at Deal as a warm up to go out and win Australian Survivor. It really does help because there's a lot of logistics playing reality competition that you don't get to
Mhm.
see as a viewer. Like the logistics it makes it harder because you're blindfolded, like gag, you can't talk, you can only eat at certain times. There's all these kind of really annoying factors involved in playing these games that are also sort of a learning curve and require patience and capacity. So I was glad that I was used to it by the time I played Survivor because Survivor's so uncomfortable already. It's miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, you're not only playing Survivor again, but you are playing Australian Survivor. So, what was your familiarity like with Australian Survivor before going out there?
I had watched Heroes versus Villains, Shawnee and George play, Simon. I love Simon.
Yo.
He's so funny. And I'd watched some of Kirby's season and I watched some of David's season before. It was crazy because before I played Deal, I was starting to watch David's season and Janine's.
Hmm.
And when I got there, I was like, oh my God. David, what are you doing here? So I was slightly familiar with most of the people when I went out to play Australian Survivor from having just watched some of their seasons.
That's so funny. So, would you have not have known that he had been on Survivor if you hadn't had started watching a season?
If I hadn't been cast on Australian Survivor versus the World, I wouldn't have known who David was.
That is incredible. It's so awesome, and it was great watching you, the two of you, work together. But then, because you were so close, and that sort of bled its way into Australian Survivor, the whole thing when Rob revealed that you and David knew each other, how did you navigate the aftermath of this reveal?
Well, Sari had already known because I told
Okay.
her, and I told Tony. Tony and Sari knew. But I was like, oh, Rob. I was so mad at him for doing that. But then he was out of the game. So I was like, whatever, you got what you deserved, sir. And then David was out the following episode, or the
Mhm.
following day. So I was like, okay, this is fine. This actually isn't going to hurt me at all anymore. And I could completely let it go, which was a relief, to be honest. I mean, I would have loved to have played with David, but him being in the game would have made me a worse target, a bigger target. So I was kind of like, oh, good thing he's gone.
Yeah, it seemed like you wasted no time just being like, oh, well, the target's off of me now. It was great.
Truly, I know.
Uh,
I was like, sorry, David, but like, good for me.
Good for you. Yeah. And in the final episode, we hear you say, "This game for me has been the culmination of everything I've learned in my entire life." And I guess that got me wondering, did this experience on Australia versus the world teach you any new lessons?
Yeah, it really solidified my self-trust and my ability to use my voice and not to have to hide behind a mask of likability or flirtatiousness. It's just like I can flirt with the people who I want to flirt with. I don't have to flirt with everyone. That's not a like generic catch-all strategy for me anymore. I can selectively discern when to use which tool that I've cultivated in my tool belt. And none of all of that is authentic to me, all of it. So nothing is like me putting on an act to like make someone see me in a certain way. It's just is all really me, and that feels so good. It feels like very liberating and satisfying.
So do you feel that this was the perfect balance of Parvati the person and Parvati the player?
Yeah, absolutely. Like what you see is who I am in this game, and I'm really proud of that.
You should be. It was incredible to watch. And there were a lot of great relationships to see. I mean, you and Suri again, that was like a fan's dream. But of course, the new relationships, like with the International Alliance with Lisa and Cass and Tommy. I was just wondering, when it got to the merge part, how loyal were you planning on sticking with them?
Not at all.
Okay.
I wanted to play with the Australians because it's Australian Survivor. So I was like, all right, whenever I get a chance, when the time is right, because the Survivor is really about timing.
Mhm.
It's about social dynamics and it's about reading the people and making your move at the right time. So I had to have the right moment to turn on that alliance and get the World Tribe out so I could work with the Aussies. But yeah, I wasn't planning on riding to the end with those guys. They did not want to sit next to me. That would have been a death sentence for me to stay with them.
I know, and that led to that absolutely bonkers tribal council, which was incredible to see you all work through. I'm also really curious as to why it feels like we got teased with this like Parvati Shawnee alliance thing, but then it kind of like dissipated. So why couldn't that work out?
I think Shawnee said it herself. She was like a lone pup out there. She wasn't playing with friendships or allies. She was like a rogue vote and she would go wherever the wind blew. And that does not make me feel safe. Like I can't, it was too risky. I love Shawnee. She's so funny. She and I had we are in a very exclusive club of being new moms who play Survivor. She had a very young baby when she had come out. And when I played Winners at War, my daughter was 10 months. So she and I bonded over that out there. And I loved our conversations and our time together, but I just didn't feel like we could have anything that I could rely on
Mm,
beyond the vote that we did with Kirby for Sarah.
makes sense. So you got that sense of this wasn't very secure. Um,
Yeah.
we saw you have I love seeing you win that final immunity challenge. It was so incredible. We saw you have a really beautiful emotional release after winning. And I was just wondering, do you recall sort of what was going through your head as you realized that you had just won that final challenge and you would make it through this entire season without anyone writing your name down?
Oh, well, I was sobbing in Janine's burrowed in her neck. I was like, which also shows the strength of the relationship that I had with Janine
Mhm.
as well, because she holds that kind of presence that's like steady and soothing and calming. And it's like I could release that emotion in her embrace. It was like, oh my God, because I knew if I didn't win that challenge, they would have voted me out. That would have been the smartest thing for them to do. I think Sari probably would have had me do fire, but I was gonna be, and if I had to do fire, I was gonna lose. I suck at fire. So I was like, oh my God, this is the thing I've been working for. And I really had put a lot of emphasis on this is my reclamation. This is my arc of this is the completion of my survivor legacy. Getting to the end of this game gives me the opportunity to tell my story and to win again. So at that moment, it was like, I've done it. I've done it's like hard work playing Survivor, really hard. And there's not a lot of opportunity to emotionally express any of the built up tension or emotions that are inside. So after that challenge, I was like, oh, the floodgates are open. I would have kept crying if Jonathan would have given me a hug. I would have cried more.
You're like, no, this is good. This is cleansing. All good.
Yeah, let's just keep it going.
And now, the last time you played in Samoa, and the last time you went against with a jury, up against a jury, didn't go so well in terms of they weren't your biggest fan. What did you do differently this season, or did you do anything different this season to prepare?
Um, yeah, I played for the jury the whole time. Um, I think with the exception of what was going down with Lisa at the end, because that was so tricky and it was really
Mhm.
hard to stay cool with her when I had just voted out her besties. And I was like 100% not going to work with her moving forward. So I was like, oh, I don't know how to like still have the rapport here. But other than that, I played for them the whole every step of the way. And I knew in the end, these people all have survivor experience. They all see the importance of this season as being one that should reward the person who's played the ultimate game from start to finish. So I was like, okay, how do I just now position myself as that person? And also, to be fair, heroes and villains, when I played that game, there were people that I'd played previously with who I'd beaten who were sore about it and didn't want me to have the win. So there wasn't really much, and we didn't play together on the same side
Right.
in that game. So there wasn't that much that I could have done to sway their opinion then. But this time, the people that I'd beaten, everyone played together that was on the jury. Like we mixed and matched and mingled with everybody. The only person I didn't play with was Sarah, and that's the only vote I didn't get.
Now, I have only one final question for you, Parvati, and it might be a big one, but you mentioned your arc on the show. And I just thinking about Cook Islands all the way to right now, you speaking with me. What would you say is Parvati's story arc?
Oh, that's a really good question. When I played my game, the first Survivor, it was 2006, a very specific moment in time for women in pop culture being objectified and sexualized and objectifying ourselves. Sex equaled power at that point in time. And I exploited myself in that way to gain power, as was the mode. And that I came out and played Survivor as sort of like very naive. I didn't really know what the game was about, but I wanted power. And I used the only skill that I thought would work at the time, which was my sexuality and flirtatiousness. So I think having the opportunity and the privilege to play Survivor multiple times since my first game and to grow up on screen in front of the world over 20 years, I have moved beyond this trope of the sort of like lost little lamb who was just this like sexual object to now being a full grown, in my power, in my authority, adult woman who can demonstrate that owning your power as a woman, claiming your voice, being yourself doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to sexualize yourself to do it. You can have multiple different layers to you, and that's sort of where I've arrived now at this point is I've gone through some really hard losses and came very close and fallen short. And I've also won by, being the Black Widow and blindsiding the men. And now here I am. I played, even though Luke booted me out of the, even though Luke booted me out of the auction, I was like, I played with that energy. I like you can play as a woman, playing with fire, playing with anger, playing with emotional commitment and love and friendship and deep loyalty and trust and integrity and honesty, and also betraying people who rely on you and lying to them. It's all okay. And so I think now I have become a very rich, holistic character. And I hope that people see me as that and then they take that away for themselves, that they have permission to have all of those facets of themselves be on display at any point in time.
Parvati, once again, congratulations on winning Australian Survivor Australia versus the world. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. All the best to you.
Thanks, Matthew.